I love your flag with all the corporations.
That's the new America.
Tell me about what you're trying to get across with basically all these corporations. I've always called it the United Corporations of America. So
I've got the flag at Occupy Wall Street right after that. It's who owns America now. It's who makes the laws. It's corporate America. I mean, they've got the money to lobby. They got the money to do everything. The common citizens got nothing. We've got to get money out of politics if we want to fix our republic. That's simple.
And do you think Trump is doing this essentially? I mean, he's already said we want their oil, but do you think he's doing this to distract for re-election, to get more funding from the Raytheons, the Lockheed Martins?
Well, Eisenhower said it the best, I think, in 1954 or 56 when he was leaving office. Beware of the military-industrial complex. The military-industrial complex is what fuels our economy. If we don't buy bullets, bombs, and planes and warships, we don't have a viable economy. So up until the time we stop that, we will never have a viable economy. That's simple.
And what they're doing right now, it's almost like setting your house on fire, you getting out, and then you retaliating, and us saying, well, they're coming after us, forgetting the fact that we initiated it. It's like we continue to do this offensive actions, not defense, and then when other countries retaliate, our propaganda machine, which is the corporate media too, say, well, we're just defending ourselves.
Well, we're selling war, and the average American doesn't look past the headlines. They sold the Iraq War. The Iraq War was based on lies. Vietnam was based on lies. And if you try to tell people what the history of Vietnam, Iraq, and all the rest, they don't want to hear it. They put their hands over the ears and go la 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 la. So the only way you're going to change this, is you've got to seriously sit down and educate people.
And tell me about your service and what you kind of learned from that, because obviously a lot of your views are informed from your personal experience.
Well, I joined the military, went to basic 1965 January, went to Vietnam 1 December 1967, got out in 30 November 1968. After a year of going to one too many funerals and visiting one too many broken bodies at the St. Albans Naval Hospital, I joined the anti-war movement. And I've been a member of the Vietnam Veterans Against America, or Veterans for Peace Forever.
Mm-hmm. And do you think the soldiers today, because I've spoken with a lot of soldiers that, they don't want to go on camera, but they're kind of disgusted. You're supposed to be fighting for the principles that you learn about in grade school, but you're kind of fighting so that we could kind of keep greasing the wheels of corporate America. And I mean, in America, you have, look at Standing Rock and these kinds of things where police are protecting oil companies. It looks like America's military is being used for exactly the opposite of what our Constitution says it's supposed to be used for.
Well, I don't remember who did the survey, but I don't remember who did it. But they did a survey of Iraq and Afghanistan vets, and like 79 or 80%, something like that, all said they thought the Iraq and Iran war was wrong, and they should have never been involved, and it was a giant mistake. And it was a poll done by some famous Pew or somebody like that. And the reason most veterans don't want to get involved, because it's not easy to go against the norm. If you're an anti-war protester, just like in the 60s, they hate you. That's simple.
And what's interesting to me, obviously the focus is on Trump right now, but the Democratic Party just gave him a check for $738 billion, which is insane. It's more than the next 10 countries combined. I didn't hear the Democratic Party say anything. Last year, he quietly sent 2,500 troops to the Middle East to fight.
That's simple.
So save jobs, but risk lives.
There you go. And vets, guys in the military are an expendable quantity. They're already starting to take care of guys now. When I came home in '68, the VA didn't really take care of us. Okay, now There's more suicide prevention, there's more job training and all the rest of that. And the only reason that's happening because veterans of my generation aren't forgetting the kids. That's simple.
You hear any candidates speaking to these issues that actually could actually do something?
Tulsi Gabbard, 100%, and Bernie Sanders. All the rest of them are just corporate shills. Start taking money from corporations and billionaires, you can never get my vote.
I got my issues, well, some issues with Tulsi, but the thing that stands out to me, I mean, look what they've done to her just for speaking out against this. They make her a Russian asset.
Of course she's a Russian asset, because she's against the mainstream. If you're against the mainstream, you're a communist running pinko. That's simple. A socialist. They don't even know what socialism is. They don't know why America is so against socialism. And it's because corporate America says, if they get unions and they have workers' rights, we're screwed. We won't make the profits.
Well, I always say we already are a socialist country, just for the rich.
This getting here, the original people that got here was all social. They bought a boat together. They formed towns together. It's all socialism. Getting across the country to the west was all a socialist activity.
Right. And lastly, what's your message? Because whether it's Tulsi, whether it's Bernie, they're both trying to get younger voters out. They're both trying to get people who, traditionally might be asleep, not into politics, too cynical. What's your message to the younger generation who, I mean, war affects everybody, but...
Just pay attention. Don't believe, research what anybody tells you before you believe it. That's simple.
What's your name?
John.
Thank you, John, and thank you for your service. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Can I see your flag one more time? So, come around. That way. So you got the United Corporations of America right in front of you.
Turn it upside down. It's the international signal for this.
Google, Chevron, Exxon, Starbucks, McDonald's. God, I love it. I got to get one of those for me. Thank you.
I got
If you
it.
enjoyed that last video, hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.